Now, I know probably most of you out there watching this video right now are in the process of preparing your house for sale, or you're one of my clients and I'm sending you this video. Anyway, I'm here to give you a few helpful staging tips for people who are on a budget. For those of you who have never met me before, my name is Audra Lambert and I'm one of the top selling realtors out here in good old Orange County, California. I also used to have my own staging business and literally stage every property that I put to market. So I think these tips will help you and I hope you get some benefit. So let's get into it. Okay, one of the most important things you can do is declutter your home. I know we've all heard that. If you've been watching my channel, you know I go overboard on that. But 30% of most of the things in your property need to go. So if you feel kind of naked in your home, you're just about there. But we're going to take down all family photos. We're going to clear out some of those closets and storage areas. In fact, one of the top things buyers are looking for are storage areas. So you want to make that as clean and neat as possible. And, you know, if there's too much furniture in a room, you can't walk around easily, then you need to get rid of that furniture. You can store it in the garage, but of course, I'm going to tell you to get that off your property if possible, because we want people to come into the house feeling like there's plenty of room. Let's deep clean our property. Now, you don't have to pay somebody to do this. In fact, most of the cleaning products you probably have on your property now. So I would look at those faucets and shower heads, and if there's any mineral buildup, you can always take vinegar, scrub it really good. You know, clean down those baseboards. You can always tell when a house is well maintained when the baseboards are really clean. Look at those grout lines. You guys know what I'm talking about. Little elbow grease goes a long way. Don't skimp on this. It really does make a difference. Look under those sinks. Go through those drawers, right? Like clean the drawers. Spend probably a solid day or two just deep cleaning your property. It will pay off, and it just costs you your time for the most part. Okay, I'm not going to fail you. I'm going to tell you to paint your house white again. It really does make a difference. It makes the house look larger, brightens the inside of the house up. You know, I've never had a buyer come into a house that's been painted a lighter color and said, man, I wish they would have painted the house a darker color. The house also photographs better. But as you know, this video's on, you know, staging a house on a budget. And as you probably know, if you're looking around, paint is outrageous. I can't believe how expensive paint is. So there's other ways of I'll just say sourcing less expensive paint. I didn't say cheaper paint, just less expensive. So some of the things I've done in the past to save a few bucks is I'll reach out to general contractors and see if they finished a job that they ordered too much paint for. Or you go to eBay. I was on there this morning looking at paint. You can buy some of those 10-gallon jugs of lighter color paint. It may not be your favorite color, but it just has to be light. You're not going to live here forever, right? So just lighten it up. You can even go to Craigslist. You can even, if you have like a neighborhood, you know, website, we have this thing called Nextdoor where we live, where you can say, hey, I need some white paint. Anybody want to sell it? You won't believe some of the responses. So if you are going to paint your house, I would recommend finding paint that's a little less expensive. It will help with the cost. And also, if you're not a great painter, don't do it yourself, because if you do a really poor job, it really shows up and can do more harm than good. So save a little bit on the paint, but I would say make the investment in somebody that really knows what they're doing when they're putting paint on a wall. Every room in the house should serve a purpose. And when somebody's coming to view your property, they should know what that room's to be used for, okay? That's why we stage properties. We give people the ability to visualize themselves there. So we're not gonna have a bed in a dining room, for example, right? We want a dining room table. Now, some of you are probably like, I just don't have money to go buy a dining room table. Like, what do I do? So I'll give you some helpful tips at the end of this thing as far as negotiating with your agent, but we'll get to that in just a minute. But what I've done, especially when I was first starting my staging business, is I would go look at the homes that just entered escrow or were about to close escrow. The realtor's signs usually on the outside of the property. I'll give them a call saying, hey, you know, can you contact your seller to see if they have any interest in selling any of their items? These are the 4 or 5 items I'm looking for. Or if you don't want to talk to the realtor, you don't like them, whatever, you can just go knock on the seller's door. Most neighbors are super friendly, and just ask them. Say, hey, listen, totally random, but I was looking online. I really like your taste, and I was wondering if you had any interest in either donating or selling some items. These are the items I'm looking for. So first of all, I'm going to tell you, if you are talking to the seller, they're grateful, because people are exhausted by the time they're done with or getting close to closing, and they do have no idea what they're going to do with all their furniture. So you could be really, you know, I'm going to say helping them out. So it's not a bad idea to do that. The other thing you can do is repurpose what you have in your house already. So you can use magazines, stack them up, or books for side tables. Or if you have some crates, you can do something kind of cool and swanky as a coffee table, repurpose some of those items. For those of you who have good friends or family members, you can ask them to borrow some of their furnishings as well. I remember at this one staging site that I did, I actually took my son's furniture out of his own room and staged it. The poor guy had no furniture for like 30 days, but nonetheless, we got it done. So some family members and friends can help you out. It helps with the budget, and it's really nice to know someone that has a truck. They can help you move things around. I love greenery throughout the entire house. I love them in bathrooms. I love them in bedrooms. I love it in living spaces. But it's expensive, right? If you go buy the fake ones, they're kind of ugly. They do the job. If you do the live plants, it's great, but you might kill them. And then what do you do after you sell your house, right? So what I do, especially when I'm on a budget, I call tree trimmers or I call gardeners in the area, asking them if they are doing any jobs and if I could come by and grab a few, whatever, like greenery from them, shrubs, branches. And they always say yes, because it's less for them to do. And I do this a couple days before the photo shoot. It takes about an hour or two. You put them in pretty pots, add a little water. Oftentimes can, last for 30, 50 days. And when you take the photos, it's absolutely beautiful. It completely transforms the entire house. All right, let's talk lighting. It's super important to have a light, bright house, right? We want to have freshness. We want to be able to open those windows. We need to have light to highlight the beauty of your home, okay? And it's very distracting when you have ugly window treatments or window treatments that are broken. So I see this a lot with like some of those blinds, those things that don't level up or, it's halfway down. So if you have icky window treatments, if you have them, just take them down. Your buyer's not going to ask for them. And if they do, just say, sorry, no, right? You won't believe all these home builders that sell new homes do not put window treatments. At least the ones in my area don't. So don't worry about it. Take it down. I'd rather have an unobstructed window than a window with icky window treatments. I know you're thinking, Audra, I need privacy, okay? I can't take my window treatments down, even though they're not working very good and they're ugly. Okay, I'm telling you, you can. Put your clothes on, no one's looking at you, and put a towel up at night or something to cover the windows. But this is a temporary stage, this isn't long term. And the worst thing you could do is have those window treatments up and the buyer comes back and says, hey, those louvaliers or the whatever isn't working, the balance is off, whatever, and we want new ones or we want them repaired. It's one less hassle. I say, throw them in the garage, and if the buyer does request for any window treatments, we can say, hey, there are some left behind in the garage. We're not promising you they work, but we took them down to show the beautiful natural light, the abundance of natural light that flows throughout the house. But you're welcome to keep them if you'd like, but we're not putting them up for you. Sorry. As you're looking around the house, make sure you're looking at all the light bulbs too, okay? The lighting on the property is really important. All the light bulbs need to be working at the home inspection, or the inspector will call it out as an inoperable light bulb, and your photographer will be very grateful too. But don't do the fluorescent lights. There's another light bulb that's called daylight, which is way too, it's almost like a blue light. We don't like that. A soft white is, in my opinion, the best way to go. When you're showing your property, the lights should all be on. They should all be functioning. We don't want to have a dead light bulb. The buyers might think, gosh, if they're not replacing their light bulbs, what other things are the sellers not maintaining? And not even that. When you have all the lights on the property, it just shows so well, and the presentation is key when buyers are coming to look at your property, which is why we're doing all this, right? Now, this video is about budgeting, right? Budgeting for the staging process. So when you're going around looking throughout the house, look under those sinks, like repair those items that aren't functioning properly. You can probably find a local handyman, or you might have a family member that's really handy, but what's not working right now. Like, for example, I know I have a broken window that my kid threw a baseball through and I just haven't fixed it. Okay, things like that, is going to come up in a home inspection report. And if you are taking photos of the property, it will show. So take care of those items while you're at it, right? I will link down below a staging checklist that you can download. It goes in a little bit more detail if you're doing your own staging. I will also link down below some other detailed staging videos that I've done in the past. This one's primarily focused to staging your house on a budget. And that brings me to my next point. A lot of sellers don't know that they can negotiate with their listing agent. So this is why you need to, interview your listing agent, several of them, preferably 3 or more, before you even start this decluttering and putting all this money into your house, because you have to know what the expectation is and how much money you need to put forward. So things you can negotiate with your listing agent is, are they willing to help with staging, right? Can they pay part of it? Are they willing to cover the cost? Now, I cover that cost for my sellers. I don't pay any extra for it. I have a tremendous amount of money invested into my marketing because of that reason. I have a brand I'm trying to protect. Anybody who is buying a house from Audra Lambert should expect a certain quality of service, and anybody willing to list with me should have that same service provided as well. So if you are hiring an agent, like, find the best one you can. And by the way, I'll link a few questions down, interview questions you should be asking these listing agents. One of which is, hey, can you cover my staging costs, right? Or, hey, can you cover some of my handyman costs? Or 3, you need to write in that contract that there will be professional photos required on the property, okay? The best that are in the area. You hard code that into the listing agreement. And the reason why that's so powerful is because you need to know what you're getting out of the property, and it needs to be agreed to upfront. The biggest complaints that I've been receiving from some of my followers is that, you sign that contract and guess what? You don't have any service. You don't know what they're spending money on. They're apparently doing all this marketing that you know nothing about. Well, I'm telling you what, if they're willing to pay for staging, help you with some of your repairs, right? Or are spending a tremendous amount of money on the marketing on your property as it relates to high quality photos, drone videos, etc., then at least you know you're being well represented. So don't make that mistake. Negotiate hard, do the extra work, right? At the end of the day, this is a business transaction and you do need to take it seriously. Thanks so much for watching this video. And if you got any benefit, please subscribe to my channel and smash that like button. I would forever be grateful. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you in the next video. Best of luck to you.